Greetings, folks. Are you a person of questionable morality? Do you believe that might makes it right, but explosions make it even more rightful? In this video, I will go through an update for my volatile summoner build. Extreme high damage, the easiest build to play in the game, really. Especially if you're new, there is very little to understand. Explosion good, and it's really hard to mess up and probably won't get nerfed because questline forgot summoners exist. So, what changes compared to the previous build pasta? Well, the previous build was more like our general setup, not really optimized for explosion. So this setup is mainly done for that. Boom, boom, boom. So we go full crit, we grab a dagger which also adds critical damage, and we enjoy the fruit of our labor. Naturally, you can also play normally without explosion this setup, but if instead you want to cast a spell, the previous version of this build is still valid. Link is gonna be in the description. Okay, a very quick explanation about summoner and volatile mechanics. Volatile good, minion good. Minions are not affected by spell power or scale anything except with one thing, spirituality. Thanks to invocation of might perk will give extra damage and HP. Meanwhile, volatile only scales with minion health. However, volatile can crit, and when it does, oh boy, that's where really the fat chunk of damage really comes from. In this video, I will go through all the necessary information you need. Gear location, a few alternative options, skill and attributes allocation, how to put your Sarras Perks, and a very fat, very dedicated leveling section without any spoilers. Let's begin. Okay, let's look at our gear. First of all, our weapon setup is gonna be very simple. Gonna use Silent Weaver because it will lower the mana cost. For our bombing setup with Volatile, we're gonna use Wolf's Fang from Act 1, but only if you're using Undertow. Otherwise, it's really not worth it. Alternative could be Smuggler Knife also as well. Only downside is we are very heavy on our weight setup, so we have less dodges. For our minion setup, of course, the Knights of the Round summons the Ghost are really good. In the description, you'll find a link where you can find all the summon location in the game. In the leveling section, I will also show the summons that I collected. We're gonna use Usurper from the Act 2 boss. Do not side with the Mushroom. That's the only spoiler that I'm giving you. Usurper is great for us because critical chance and increases summon limit. The alternative comes very late, but Tainted Hood of the Archmage from the Merlin's Tomb is also an option. It's the only item currently that will buff our summon damage. However, it doesn't have critical chance, and more importantly, you will have to put a lot of points in endurance, so for bombing is really not ideal. For our back item, we use the Crafted Thorns of Netherbloom. You get the resin from these by following the Alchemist questline, which you will do because you want to get those 2 extra points in spirituality. The recipe to craft this item is in Act 3. Do not waste the resin because there are only a few sources of that in the game. For chest, we're gonna use Undertow Bloom Vest. This one, in my opinion, it's the best one currently. In alternative, of course, when you're lower level, Night Stalker is also good, will give us a lot of critical chance. For Amulet, only Archdruid. Archdruid is from doing Druid Shrines in Act 3. Again, there is gonna be a video in the description with the location of all the shrines if you cannot find one. Archdruid also helps if you're going pure summoner because you will need a lot of mana to afford all these fat guys. For pants, we're gonna use Night Stalker, Act 2 item, really good for us. For boots, again, we're gonna use Royale because critical chance. For rings, we're gonna use Ring of Reduced Conjuration. In alternative, of course, you can use Perilous for a little bit of critical damage, and critical chance are good as well. There is also the Confessor Ring that will boost our spirituality, a mana ring as well, useful for this setup from Act 1. Okay, let's look at our attributes. The stats here are very simple. Our main stats are spirituality and perception. Dexterity is needed for our dagger. 8 points in endurance is required for the Undertow Bloom Vest. This build can afford points in practicality, will be useful to reduce mana cost. Okay, let's quickly allocate points. I leveled up in this way because I leveled up as a pure summoner. So I was literally sitting back while my Grindylow demolished the entirety of Act 1. 15 points in spirituality. Now you might say, well, Pasta, this is kind of extreme. If something touches me, I die. Well, you can afford points in endurance if you want, but I feel like just don't get it. Like you have your minions tanking for you, and well, that works. Then we're gonna go with 8 points in perception to be able to use Night Stalker. Then we're gonna put 8 points in endurance, 20 spirituality. Then we're gonna go with 7 points in dexterity. This is needed regardless if you're using Smuggler Knife or the Wolf's Fang, you need 7 points to use it. I will not go above than that. I had 8 because I had a bonus feather that you can find in one of the crypts in Act 3. And then perception and spirituality. Okay, let's look at the skill tree. We're gonna start, of course, immediately as a summoner. 3 points in Summoner Battery, Prepared Ritual, Astral Bonds, Prepared Ritual Maxed. Worthy Sacrifice is an amazing way to self-heal. Then you want to go Power Conduit, Invocation of Might. This is the most important perk in this tree. We max Mana Battery, Invigorating Energy, so we get a little bit of health, which is kind of important because we are kind of light on endurance. Once you lock Red Death, regardless, Plague Warden points are super important. Then we're gonna go in Dexterity, 1 point in Strong Arm Mode Master, 3 points in Marksman. Then we're gonna go in Perception, max Extra Lucky, max Critical Cascade, go for the Eyes for extra critical damage, Respite in Cruelty, Critical Aegis, Bloodthirst. Then in Dagger 3 we're gonna beeline for Predator Fang. If you're using Undertow Bloom Vest, then we're gonna get Assassin Doctrine. We max Summoner Battery, Hold the Line, Feeding Frenzy, Mana Infused Blood. If you are using Smuggler Knife, you want to put a point in Athletic build to add an extra dodge. And this will be my suggestion for you. If you go higher level, Red Death damage 3, you can shop in this one for extra damage. Like, this build has so much damage, then once your critical chance is good and your minions are a little stacked, it's amazing regardless. Okay, let's look at the Sarras tree. Naturally, we're gonna play as a Mystic. This is really no-brainer. Mana Spring, Ebb and Flow. This is because Volatile is an area of effect spell, quite a big one, if I may add. Melee Macabre, Allies Together Strong, Parting Gift, Summoner Curse. In alternative, if you want to skip these 2 points, you could also go for Recovery and Relic Hunter as well for extra mana. The choice really here is up to you. If you're going pure Summoner, extra mana could be useful, but this can be easily negated by farming Sapphire Waves, relics really. Or even using extra mana from armor, that is completely legit. So, your choice. Okay, let's begin. My suggested life path is gonna be Healer for Blood Transfusion, which we're gonna use for the entirety of the tutorial. Get the HP statuette, and don't forget to use it, of course, because it's a consumable. In a side room you can get some extra lockpick, a letter for a side quest, and if you break into the small chest you can get some potions as well, can be useful. Get the pickaxe. Don't forget to get the Potion of Origin, because you can miss out on this. In Act 3, after you finish the Alchemist questline, you will learn how to craft them, but it's still useful to collect it. This is optional for some extra XP. You can kill the Barbarian located here. Just bait him into the magical hole and, well, squeeze him dry, I guess. Let's jump down and we get the mana ring by trading a health potion with the wounded lady. If you are in veteran, don't try to kill her because she's quite powerful.
It's still, they wouldn't.
Now we want to attack and provoke our favorite tutorial Asmongold and slowly drag him to the end of the corridor without getting stuck or getting killed. If you run too fast or too far, he will switch to bow and kill you, so be careful. This will give us a lot more XP and some extra loot we can sell. Okay, on the shore we are gonna have a different start than usual. We're gonna beeline immediately toward the mine to get our first summon. And of course a critical strike ring you can grab as well. Just run past all the mobs, jump down in the hole. You can also loot a relic that you probably don't need, but still, extra stuff. Do all the druid shrines throughout the game, all of them. They will give a permanent bonus rewards at the end. And then we want to upgrade from our wolf to our grindilo, which are much stronger in my opinion. As you can see, even the base damage of the wolf for Act 1 is not too bad. The only issue with them is that they're very fragile. Let's get the mana regeneration cloak. It's gonna be very useful, especially during boss fights. Let's get the Spellslinger set. Prioritize items at the start of the game that will give you mana. That is the most important stats that you need because, well, you want to be able to afford and resummon our minions. On the shore, we can get some extra piece of gear. Those are the old druids that will give you mana regeneration. They're especially good for super low level in case you came out of the tutorial or you skipped the tutorial entirely. These are the pieces that I use at the start, of course. Since I'm not casting spell, I don't need spell power. Very simple. If you're casting spell, then prioritize spell power. Once we reach the village behind the keep, we want to go in the tavern and then we want to do a small park tour. This can take you a few tries if you're not experienced with this jumping puzzle stuff. And then you want to get the mana ring that is on the edge, and if you're especially good, you can also get a little bit of gold, just like this. Let's get our Silent Weaver. You need to dig it out here. This is the final reward for doing the Druid Shrine in Act 1. As you can see from the status effect tab, we are getting a little bit of health. Once you're in the keep, do all the bounties. It's good for XP and stuff. While you're in the keep, talk with this guy, choosing the right option. He will give you a book that is a consumable that will give you another free perception point. A shout out to Macabre Monkey, because I totally missed this book despite, well, several hundreds of hours in this game. So, here we are. I never read that book, that's the problem. In the crypt, there is a bunch of stuff that we need to do. First, we're gonna get another perception book, so that's amazing. And then we want to deal with the necromancer. I personally killed him. You can keep him alive if you want, but you will miss out on a couple of items that I think they look kinda cool, so choice is up to you. Before leaving, get up in the strange hole. That is a common occurrence in this game. And then you want to get a Morgaine Chancer. That is a bonus consumable for mana wise, permanent. That is really good. Get also a tag before leaving, of course. Then we want to go in the old druid ruins, and we loot here the battle mage set. Some pieces of battle mage are good for us, and well, any caster really, but still. Then we want to do the alchemist questline, the start. Go along with whatever the weird guy at the entrance says. In the Mistbearer den you can also loot a extra health relic. I didn't show the entire fight because, to be honest, if you're playing as a pure summoner like I did in Act 1, this fight will take you 5 minutes. Like, just do yourself a favor and get a spell, poison spray or whatever. Then you want to pick the second quest. Don't leave without it. Once you're following the quest, there is also another potion of origin you can grab that some people miss. Once you're in Old Mother Temple, buy a crushed pilgrim bone. It's an extra bonus item that you want. Go back to the shore, the recipe and another tag that I didn't take at the start because I'm a dummy and I forgot. Now this is my gear at the end of Act 1, literally after I killed the boss. As you can see, it's a mixture of several pieces. And mana is the keyword really, because again, pure summoner. We're gonna be a pure summoner at least until we get volatile in Act 2. There are 2 entrances for Act 2. Use the south one because it's easier. A lot of people go up and they get screwed. Now let's get our next summon. So we replace the Grindilo, and that is gonna be Skeleton Warriors, and for this one you just need to go there. It's very easy. Again, do all the bounties in Act 2. Act 3 and Sarras do not have bounties, so this is your last set of quests. Now, to get volatile, you want to take a quest. Any quest doesn't matter with the red mages, so you need to visit them, indulge one of the old men, well, with your silver tongue or something. After this, you can go and get the volatile spell from the corpse. You will also get the Camelot Spearman, which I frankly think that right now, after they changed stuff, it's one of the best summons for Act 2. They will almost never die, and they have insane stagger potential. Now, you want to kill this bounty for the Night Stalker set. She's really not a hard bounty to kill. Just be careful because there is an execution fighting squad behind her, so it is what it is. But luckily you're not playing a parry build or a melee build, so should not be an issue for you. You can use Night Stalker for the entirety of Act 2, which I did, except the boots, because the boots will give you no crit and there is no reason to slot in critical damage if your critical chance is bad. In Act 2 main town, buy a bonus perk item from Bonksy, and then you want to go down, again we want to sneak inside another weird hole and talk with Filth, which is not an offense, that's the guy name, and buy Pilgrim Bone from him. So make sure you have enough gold.
And I can hear trust. Oh.
There is another Morgaine sensor for bonus mana. Take it once you go there for the Druid Shrines anyway that is close to it. Finish the Alchemist questline. If you set up things correctly, like I did, you can see me one-shotting the Gloomfront. Another Morgaine sensor. Finish all the Druid Shrines. In this case, you will get some stamina. Let's start the quest for the Red Death. Go in, talk with the weird wounded dude that is sitting on the bed. Indulge with his insanity. Then you want to go to the tool house. In the tool house, after you survive an horde of 30-40 red zombies, which, by the way, be careful because those guys really hit hard after they buffed them in Veteran. Talk with the totem and get those bonus attributes, even though it will cost you a little bit of life. Once you go for the quest, you can also get the Master Assassin. I didn't use Master Assassin for this playthrough, but there's still an option. Plague Rate is not an issue to you. This is the easiest kill of Plague Rate that I ever did, by the way.
This is how it's done.
In the Corrupted Temple, once you finish the boss there, you will enter an area. There is no map here, so I cannot show you a minimap because this is a ruin. You will get here for the story anyway. And you can get a Battle Mage, is another summoning option. This is my gear after I finished Act 2. I didn't use the crown because I didn't have enough points in endurance at the time. But as you can see, it's pretty much similar to what I had in Act 1, just more crit. Here you can get the Smuggler Knife, which is an option if you want, for a little extra critical damage.
My here, fair.
Now we want to go in the Remor Cave so we can get our Remor Warriors. This is the main summon spell that I used throughout the game. Now you want to get the recipe for the Nether Bloom back item. Get in this elevator located here. Final reward for all the druid shrines in Act 3. 10% critical chance. Do not miss out on this one because it's amazing. Now we need to get our beefy guys. If you're doing things that I do in disorder, this fight is a joke, literally. And good thing that Questline never watches my videos, so this is amazing. No reason to nerf this spell at all, by the way. Everything is fine. Get the keys from one of the bodies. Gawain has it, because if you do not get the keys or if the keys didn't spawn or reload, be careful, some people for some reason couldn't open the chest here. And get your summons. Be careful because they cost a lot of mana though. So make sure you have enough mana. Now get the Red Ingot of Reduced Conjuration. You cannot get this one until you finish Act 2, same with Gawain and Bertilac. So finish the Act 2 first.
If you're seeing this...
Once you start Sarras, get another HP consumable by doing a small jump there, or you can enter the other side, up to you. I don't judge you. Now the Guardian can be fought really at any level. You can probably kill this guy even at the start of Act 2 once you have Volatile. But I don't like to start Sarras too early because it makes the rest of the game too easy. See, boom, gone. Before entering Sarras, get another Potion of Origin located here. Now, go inside, buy another perk. There is also a couple of items you can loot, including a summon. Now here you can get the Confessor Ring. Do not mess this up. If you forget to select the option, you don't get access to this again. So just do it.
To memory. So here, I think maybe.
Now we want to get our recipe under toe chest. Don't forget to loot the mob as well. Now buy a crushed pilgrim bone from this horrible sea creature. Here you can get another Tidewrath. Kill at least 2 to craft the Undertow Bloom Vest. So now, after you finish the main story in Act 3, you can get the big boys. First big boy is Galahad, but the fight is gonna be easy anyway, especially with the Sarras Perks. Here we can get Vlast as well.
But if then you'll say I lost. Here is thing.
That's it, folks. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and maybe subscribing for more gaming content. No, actually that's a lie, because under my metrics you are one of the 3 fortunate guys that goes this far. Congratulations. If you have any question or something, let me know in the comments below. Have fun playing Follow Avalon, and I will see you in the next video, probably. I still have a bunch of builds to update. I'm kinda tired, to be honest, but it is what it is.